Well, hello everyone. It's Joni here at Joni's Journals, and it is my day 26, and this is part 2 of my day. Now, in my last video, I did tell you that we weren't making anything together, but I couldn't do that. I couldn't leave you with making nothing on my day. So last night, while I was sitting watching TV, I developed an idea in my head. Now, if you watched my last video, which I hope you did, you saw that I had created this little seance, for lack of a better term, using a Tim Holtz vignette, some of the printables out of the kit, the backgrounds from the kit. What I did was I used the background that matched my tag for the day, which was this one. And I had printed out some backgrounds, which are these, because I figured that fell closest to the pattern that was on my tag. So what I thought we would do, let's just give you a peek at the back, if you remember, and let me just pull out the little light thing and light it up for you, which you really can't see. Let me turn out my light. Okay, you can see it a little bit better now. It's darker, and you can see inside all of the little printables that I used and everything that I described for you on my last video. So what I thought, let me just put this safely away and then turn my light back on because I realize you're sitting in the dark. There we go. What I thought I would do for you was create a vignette out of cardstock. And so this was my prototype, and I played with this morning. But I did create something that has, I'm going to tilt it this way, that has a little table for you, similar to the table that was in the vignette. And this is what I have come up with. Now you'll see this is the tag from my day. Let me grab that again for you. This was my tag, and of course, this is the background we ultimately ended up using. I mean, it's as close as I could get. Let me put that away. So I used this little tag from it, and I, of course, used the little player piece that comes with it, and I took the liberty and I printed out that little piece of ephemera where everyone is sitting around the table, and I created, a little pull-down table with people sitting around it. Now, I know this is a bad angle, but when you close up your tag, it looks like you have all of the people sitting at the table. Let me just move this so I can stand it. So you see, this is your little table. Okay, you're looking down on it. And these are all of the people sitting around your table if you decide to close it this way, okay? And here's your little table leg, which will make it stand up when you have it open, okay? So I am going to show you how to do that, and when it folds closed, you pull your table leg down, just fold your flaps in. Now, you could, in reality, add a little Velcro dot to this if you wanted. I didn't, but it is available for you to do if you want to keep it closed this way. Now, I haven't yet, but I'm going to stamp on the back of this that says day 26. Okay? So let's get started. What you are going to need, now I'm following my little handwritten directions here. You can see I made my diagram and I've written down all of my directions so that I keep everything in order for you. What you're going to need, I of course printed out my backgrounds double-sided, so I do have the same print on both sides. But what you're going to need is one piece of cardstock that is 5.5 by 10, and that will form your room, okay? Then what you're going to need is a piece that is 3.5 by 4. That will form our table. You're going to need a tab if you want. I punched mine out with my little Vasson Creative Punch. You've seen me do that before. And then what you're also going to need is a piece that's 3.5 by 1, and that will form your table leg. And then, of course, as far as the ephemera, I'm just trying to grab it. You will need some people, and these are the people that I've picked out for this one. Okay, this will be our little couple in the center. It could be Jeffrey and Rose if you want. And this is either Ernest or I can't remember the other guy's name. And this would be Dorothy Blakely. Okay, I'm gonna sneeze, guys. No, I'm not. Okay, then you need, and this is all if you want, your little seance photo. You're going to need a portrait or something to hang behind. I'm just going to pull my table down like this all the way. You need a little portrait to hang on the wall behind your couple. You are, of course, going to need your tag for the day, which will go out here. Now, you can do this one of two ways. You can cut out 2 tags, one for the right and one for the left, okay? But what I did in this case is I put 1 tag on the right, and I kind of manipulated my piece of furniture to make it the right size. And I put a piece of furniture and a photo on the left, okay? So you can make your choice. You can put a tag on this side and a tag on that side if you don't want to fuss with cutting out the furniture. But that is your option. Okay, let's close this back up like so. And let's get to scoring. Now, I do need to use my big scoreboard because my small one is too small, and I want to show you exactly what we're doing in lieu of me fiddling with the numbers. You're not going to be able to see the top of my scoreboard no matter how I do this, unless I raise you up so you guys are way up high in the sky. Maybe, let's see. Let me try raising you up. We'll try. I don't know if you're going to see. What you're going to do is you're going to lay your piece of cardstock. Now you have to, if you have directional paper, this kind of is directional. What you're going to do is you're going to take your 10-inch side and you're going to put it up at the top. Oh, you can actually see. And then what you're going to do is you are going to score at 3 inches, okay, because you want to create your small fold on the left. And then you're going to score at 7 inches because you want to create your longer flap on the right, okay? Now, I have inked all of the edges around, so we might do that, okay? Then what you're going to do, I don't know if I told you, but you're going to round all your corners on your 10 by 5.5 piece. And then on your table piece, this is the 4-inch direction. You're going to hold it with the 4 inches facing up, and you're going to round those 2 corners up at the top here. You could round all 4 corners if you think it'll make it easier. Go ahead. But you do want to make sure that your table edge, which is this part, you want your table to be circular. So when you pull it down, you do want these edges to be rounded. Okay, I couldn't figure a way to make a completely circular table. If you can, go for it. Okay, then what you're going to do, once you round your corners, you're going to take your table and you're going to put it with the 4-inch side up at the top of your scoreboard, and you are going to score at 1 inch. Okay, and that is going to be the part of your table that's going to get glued to the inside of your card. Okay, so now you have this. All right, and while I have it, I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to ink it. Okay, I'm going to ink it on the inside. If you don't like inking, skip ahead 3 seconds and go to the next part. Okay, so now we have that inked. Then to create your table leg, remember this is 3.5 by 1, you're going to take that, and I'm just looking at my numbers so I make sure that I get it right. You are going to take it, you're going to put the 3.5 inch side up to the top, and you're going to score at a 1/2 inch, a 1/2 inch, and then you're going to score at 3 inches, okay? What you want to do is create 2 little flaps, one that your table will rest on and one that you will attach to the table. And while we're at it, I'm going to ink, and I'm going to ink, and then I'm just going to ink on the inside, like so, and ink on the inside, like so. Now, the reason I am fussing is I am planning on making this make that we're creating today. Let me get rid of my scoreboard now. Sorry if I hit you, and put that away. I'm planning on making this make part of my creepy giveaway. Okay, I'm going to bring you in a little closer. Now what I'm going to do, I don't want to lose my table leg or my tab, so I'm going to put them up at the top of my table. I am going to go, because I already inked the outer edges, I'm just going to go around and I'm going to ink my folds, my little folds where we did our scores. I'm going to ink them on the inside, and I'm going to ink them on the outside, like so, because if you're new to me and you don't already know, I do love grunge, okay? And I just want to let you guys know that I do have a video planned where we are going to continue on making all of the days that I have already made without you guys being here. But I'm not going to show you that in this video. Okay, so now you have your left-hand side with the shorter flap and your right-hand side with the longer flap. And I'm just going to ink that a little bit more just to make it grungy. All right. Now, open it back up. Okay, and what we are going to do now is we are going to add our little tab. If you want to use a tab, go for it. If you don't want to use a tab, that's perfect too. It depends on how you want your closure to look, but I'm adding the little tab because I think it's kind of cool. All right, and what we're going to do, I'm going to put glue on my tab, which I have already inked. And you're going to take and you're going to center it onto your front flap. Now, you may not have the same tab that I have, but whatever tab you have, you're going to center it onto your front flap. And I'm going to try and make it straight. Okay. All right. Because what we want to do is we want to lay our tags down over our tab. Okay. And there we go. All right, I'm just checking my directions because I want to make sure that I'm getting this all right. Okay, now, in order to center my table onto the waists, you know, the midriff section of my people, I measured up 2.5 inches from the bottom on this little centerpiece because, let me grab my couple, my lovely, handsome, and beautiful couple. You want to kind of catch them where it looks like they're sitting down. So I'm just going to be sure that this 2.5 measurement is going to work for them. I put their feet at the bottom of the cardstock, the centerpiece, and I'm going to measure up 2.5 inches, and that is going to fall right about the middle of their body. Okay, I'm going to pull them out, and I'm going to slide my ruler over to the right, which although is the top. And I am just going to make a mark at 2.5 inches. Okay? Because that's where our table will fall for our people to look like they're actually sitting at the table. I hope that makes sense. Then what I'm also going to do is I'm going to measure up 1.5 inches from the bottom again, and I'm going to move my table, and I am just going to make a mark again with my pencil at 1.5 inches. These two marks will help us to have the right placement up and down for our table so that it's in the right spot for our people. It'll make more sense at the end. Now what we're going to do, I'm just going to move my little 3D thingy out of the way over there. Now what we're going to do is we are going to glue down our tags. Now I have this tag, which is an image of this study, and I'm going to center it onto the right-hand side of our little tag here. And I'm just going to glue it down. I'm going to put plenty of glue on here, like so. And then I'm going to center it from side to side on the flap. And I'm just going to put it a little bit up from the bottom, okay? Just so it looks kind of like, you know me, that it's kind of in the background when we glue our people down. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to close it up. I'm going to push down. And I'm going to grab my tag that goes with my day. And I'm going to glue that down to the outside. Okay? You could glue this piece on last if you want to. I'm just doing it because these are the steps that I had mapped out in my head. And I just feel like it makes it easier if I'm explaining it to you exactly the way I did it. Now, this tag has no bearing on the people on the inside. It's just basically the tag. Whoops, sorry, I banged you. It's just basically the tag that goes along with my day. So you can center it top and bottom and side to side. You can put it whatever way you like. I am doing my best to make it centered on the flap just because it makes a better presentation. Okay, now we've taken care of the right-hand side of our room. Let's take care of the left-hand side of our room. Now, I've chosen the bookcase because I did use this tag, which was like the inside of the study. So I'm going to use my bookcase, and it barely fits. Okay, in this case, it barely fits. It just fits, okay? But I wanted to use it. I already had it printed out. I didn't want to fuss and fiddle and try to find a piece that would fit. And it just, this one fits, and this is what I had, so this is what I'm using. I am trying to limit reprinting all of these things because I have so many of them sitting around. Now again, in this case, I am going to fit this bookcase on, excuse me, the best that I can so that it fits on the tag. And again, it's a little bit up from the bottom so that it gives the illusion of being far back. Now I do have this little picture, whoops, it's a shadow box with the one with all the skulls and stuff, and this again is what I had available, and I'm just going to put that on the wall here above the bookcase so that it looks like there's a portrait or well, in this case, a shadow box on the left-hand side of my tag because we do want our walls to look pretty. I mean, come on, this house is creepy enough. Let's do our best to make it look nice. And I'm just going to glue that down far to the left as I can and try to get it straight. Excuse me. Because I do want it to show behind our guest who's going to be seated at the table. But I also want it to be visible to us. All right. Now what we're going to do is we are going to take our portrait. Oh, my Amazon package got delivered. And we're going to glue it to the center back, the center part of our table, the center part of our tag, but a little bit over to the left. Because again, we kind of want the portrait to show behind our people. And if I move it to the left, you can see both of these little ghostly girls that are in here. Now, what this is it's the one of the pictures of the twins, and I cut out one of the frames, and I just glued the frame to the picture to kind of make it a little bit ornate. And then, of course, I inked around the edges of the frame to make it look spooky. So what we're going to do is we are just going to glue this down to our tag. And, oh, I have an itch. It's been raining so much here these past couple of days, which is probably what you would consider normal for Southwest Florida in July. But this has been a really crazy summer. Okay, it's been very hot and just yuck. Okay, we have our portrait glued down to the center of our tag, our center area. Now we're going to take our handsome Jeffrey and our gorgeous Rose, and we are going to glue them into the middle of our trifold tag here, okay, because they are the guests of honor at this seance that we're having with Dorothy and Ernest. Oh, Carl Edwards, he was the other guy. That's his name. So maybe Ernest is sitting in the foreground and we are Ernest looking into the seance. Maybe we're sitting on this side of the table, okay? So, yeah, I mean, that works. All right, then what we're going to do, we're going to try and center our handsome couple onto the center of our tag, like so. Okay, and we're just going to push them down so they stay stuck, all right? And we're going to take Carl, our spooky little guy in the death mask here. He's just a charming individual. And then what you're going to do is you're going to glue Carl down, or Ernest, whomever you'd like him to be, close to your fold here. Because when we open it up and we have our table, we kind of want him to look, you know, even if you lay it flat, he kind of looks like he's just staring at Rose and Jeffrey. But when we open it up and we have the table there, it looks a little bit better that he's sitting at the table. So let's glue, I'm going to call him Carl, because the photos, the other images that I used in my little, when I took the liberty of accentuating on the story that I did in my journal. If you haven't seen that video, I hope you go over and check it out, because although we didn't make anything in that video, I did show you what I had been doing for my day. So I hope you'll go check that out too. Okay, so we're going to glue Carl down like so, and he's pretty close to our score line there. And then we're going to take the lovely Dorothy and we're going to glue her onto this side. Again, you want their feet to be just at the bottom, okay? And we're going to glue beautiful Dorothy down onto the left-hand side of our table. Oh, it smells like somebody's barbecuing outside. Okay. I have a neighbor who owns a deli in Englewood, Florida, and he does smoke his meats and stuff, and he has this big setup in his yard. He owns 2 pieces of property. He has this huge setup, and he smokes the meat twice a week, and oh, it smells delicious. Okay, so here we have it. We have our Jeffrey, Rose, Dorothy, and Carl. We decided we were going to call him Carl. Now what you are going to do is we are going to create our table. This is the flap. This piece here is what's going to get glued to our card. But when we flip it open, we do want a table leg for our table to rest on, okay? When you open it, so that the table will stay. It gives it a little bit more weight, and it also helps it to stay in place. This is very difficult for me to show you, but I'll show you. I'll lean it back this way. This leg helps it to stay in place, and it'll kind of help the table stay set, okay? Oh, excuse me, my nose. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our table leg, and we're going to, the flaps are in. You're going to glue your flaps to the inside of your table, and you're going to kind of center it, okay? It's going to go right about there. Again, with the 1/2 inch flaps pointing in towards the card, okay? So let's put a little glue on our little table leg, and you're only going to put glue on the part that you're gluing to the table. You don't have anything. If you wanted to create a like another piece of cardstock, if you wanted this to remain permanently open, you could of course put a piece of cardstock underneath it and glue your table down, but I want mine to be able to close. Okay, I think I've gotten it in the center there. Okay, so now you have your table. Okay, it might be an easier way for you to see it. Why is it so dark? Let's put it that way. Okay, you have your table with the piece that's going to go against the card and your little table leg, which is going to sit out, okay? All right, now we are going to glue our table into our card, and we will be almost done. Now you can see we made our 2.5 inch mark and our 1.5 inch mark. And so we can kind of now center our table between those two edges and also center our table onto our card. I think it needs to come a little bit over to the right. And what we're going to do is we're going to really score this down, okay? Because in all reality, once you have it attached to your card, it makes it a little bit easier. It will fold down nicer if it's scored better. Okay, so now I'm going to put some glue on the back of my table, and I am going to center it between my 2.5 inch mark and my 1.5 inch mark, and I'm going to center it onto my card like so. You can see here's the 2.5 and the 1.5. And I'm just going to push down. Oh, there's a lot of glue on here, so it's kind of slipping about. Okay, and it's glued and it's centered. All right, and so now you have your table and your table leg. Hoping you can see that. Okay, and it will sit up because once you close your card a bit and push your table leg up under your table, that way you have your little 2-dimensional, 3-dimensional card with Dorothy, Carl, Jeffrey, and Rose. And here's your little table that will look like so from the front. Okay, I don't know any other way how to show this to you guys, and I do apologize. And then what you can do is you close up your table, push down your little leg, close your folds like so, and who knows what's going to pop up out of this little card. You do, but no one else does. So now what we're going to do is we're just going to decorate our left-hand side flap. Oh no, I don't have, what did I do? Of course, everything was perfect until now. I don't have my other little blurb for the day. Okay, well, I do apologize, but I thought I had it, and I guess I don't. I don't know where it went. Well, maybe one of the creepy people that lives in Craftly Hall stole it. All right, I'm just going to open this one up, and I'm going to show you where it is, what it will look like ultimately. Oh, we can cut one out. Oh, what a doofus I am. let's just cut out one real quick. We have our other little blurb on our other tag. That's where it went. I printed it out again because I did lose my other one before. All right, let's cut out our playing piece really quick. It's a rectangle, so it should be relatively easy to cut out. Okay, and I kind of angle my corners. Oh, goodness gracious, Joni, where is your head? My head is with my puppy, who has been patiently sitting in his kennel, sound asleep, for about 2 hours now. He is a puppy, and he sleeps a lot. My other advantage is that his big brother, who is 5, who sleeps a lot, is still sound asleep. So he is not disturbed because he knows he doesn't have anybody to play with right now. Okay, back to what I was doing. We now have our playing piece. Okay, we have our little seance. And we're just going to glue that down. And I kind of just, you know, picked a spot for it that made it sort of centered on here and sort of, I guess, in the right place, so that adding our little playing piece to it also, whoops, that just flew away from me. Yeah, that works. Kind of just, you know, centered it on here so that everything was centered onto the tag. Okay. There you go. And we are done. We can call that a wrap. So here's our little 3D pop-up card with our table that will sit. And we can put our people around it like so. Okay. You can see everybody in there having fun at the seance. And that is the one that we made together, which will be part of my giveaway. And more than likely what I'll do is I'll put a tiny little Velcro dot on here to keep it closed for you. That's the one we made. This is the one that I made as my prototype. Okay. And it was all based off of, let me get that out of the way too, my little vignette box that I created using Tim Holtz vignette boxes and window frames and all of the wonderful ephemera and backgrounds from Tracy's kit and my little bottle of blood. Eyeball blood, to be exact. Okay, guys, I really hope you enjoyed that. I did my best to make something that was fun and relatively simple, okay? So that you guys could have a little 3D pop-up card for yourself, similar to my vignette box, and that you guys would be able to make it at home, okay? Now, I do know that some of you might have the tools to make the vignette box. I didn't want to make that assumption, and so I made something that we could all make together. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed my 2 videos for my day 26 for Creep on June. I will link the calendar in the description box below, and as along with my Etsy and all the other stuff. And I will link Tracy's website as usual, and I will also link the kit. If you're this late into the game, you can still play. And my glue is not gluing. My pin won't go in, but I will leave that. All right, guys, I'm sending you lots of love and big hugs. Please remember to like, subscribe, and comment. I have some things planned for July. I've begun working on it. Yeah, okay, Joni. I've begun working on a Tim Holtz journal, using mostly Tim Holtz ephemera, if you guys are into that, or even if you just would like to see how to make the journal overall. That would be awesome. What else do I have planned? I might play along with Christmas in July. I did it last year, too. I don't know how devoted I'll be to it, but I might pop in a few videos. Please remember to watch everybody else. You still have the 27th, the 28th, the 29th, and the 30th. And our beloved leader, Tracy Fox, is supposed to be posting on the 30th. Fingers crossed her internet is working for her. I think it is. I did get an email from her last night. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this, okay? And again, this one will be part of my creepy giveaway for Creep on June. Be sure to get all your comments onto that video. I will be doing the drawing on the 30th. Okay, probably late in the day because I don't want to dull the shine of whomever, which is supposed to be Tracy, is doing that day. Okay, guys, bye. I'll see you soon.